Hi guys, Robert Ian Bonnick, RIB, inspirational coach, speaker, author of Soul Survivor, published by New Holland. Now, today I wanted to talk about the three pillars of purpose. So, the three pillars of purpose. Now, I woke up this morning, our kids were doing something crazy and didn't get much sleep. Probably got some bags under my eyes, you can probably see. And, but, I'm still driven to get up, right? I'm still driven to follow what I need to do. And I know that some people struggle with this. So I wanted to talk about what I call the three pillars of purpose as a way, maybe for you to get a few insights around this, right? And maybe you'll see something in there yourself. So lots of people talk about purpose now, that you have to have it, that if you haven't got it, then what are you doing? And I don't really subscribe to that same mentality or that same way of looking at it. So these three pillars of purpose are things which I've been through, each one of them, and I could probably go through again. Right? I don't know where my life's gonna go, but I can stand in a powerful place that makes the most of whatever that looks like. So the first pillar of purpose, pillar number one, is what I call having no purpose, right? So having no purpose. Now this is like when you just have a zest for life, what I call a zest for life. So this happened to me when I was living, I ended up working with Madonna, the supermodels, around a hostel in Taupo, called Burke's Backpackers, moved to Australia, ended up running a business, voted number 3 in the world, co-running that one with 2 other partners. So this is the time where I didn't really have a purpose per se. This is where I had a zest for life, where every day I woke up and I just wanted to make the most of that day, no matter what, right? No matter what. If good experiences came, bad experiences came, I'd always find the gold in the bad experiences and maximize the effect of the good experiences, right? So this is what I call purpose number one, which is having no purpose. So purpose number two is what I call being pushed by something. So this is being pushed by something. And often it's like something which maybe you look back in your life, you wish it hadn't happened, and you're being pushed as a direct result of it. Or maybe you look back in your life and say, you know what, I wish I would have done better. I wish I would have done more, right? I wish I would have had a better account of myself. And I'm still being pushed by it, right? So for example, for me, growing up in 2 children's homes in London for 17 and a half years, the 18 kids living there at any one point in time, and over the years I would have seen tens and tens, maybe 100 kids go through, right? All older than me. Now, not each one, but most of those guys became role models for me. Role models in a way of like, if I was an introvert at home, right? So I would look at what they did and look at the reactions or look at the response or look at the outcome of the decisions that they made and then work out, was that something that I wanted to do or not, right? So in many ways, there's a guy called Lee Burke, he was the guy who stood up for himself, right? No matter what, he was his own man, fearlessly so. Now, the outcome of decisions that he made ended up that he ended up being shot in the head, right, and ended up dying, right? Now, but that doesn't take away the fact of what I learned from Lee Burke was standing up for yourself, and I wasn't doing it, right? And still every now and again I'm reminded of it. I'm reminded of it, So I had 18, up to 100 kids, many of which taught me lessons like that. So in my life now, I'm being pushed by them in the sense of, like I want to continue to be successful, continue to be my word, continue to make up for damage that I've done. Places where I haven't been my word, right? Continue to make amends for that because I want to show them that what they taught me was worth it, right? That what they spent their time teaching me was worthwhile, right? So I'm being pushed by that. I'm being pushed by that every day, actually. Still now, I'm being pushed by that to become a greater human being, to become a better person today than I was yesterday because of them, right? So that's an example of being pushed by. And the last pillar of purpose, being pulled by. One is pushed, one is pulled. Pulled by is like, without getting too biblical on you, like pulled by is something like, it's like a God, it's in the realms of God. It's like inspiration that you come across in your life. For me, in general, it's doing things maybe you love to do. So we're living in Bali at the moment. This is where we are. And it's like, I love riding my bike. It's like a scooter. So And Bali's got so much beauty to look at when you're walking around, traveling around, biking around, scooting around, whatever it is. And I love doing that, right? It inspires me. I love looking at nature in the way that Bali presents it to yourself, the customs, the culture, the vibrancy, the rich tapestry of life that there is here on all levels, right? And through doing that, when I was writing, this was about a couple of years ago, but this happens to me more than a couple of years, right? It happens to me probably once or twice a week, just depends. But this one comes up for me, so that's why I'm going to describe it. So an event dropped in my mind, an event of bringing people together, like thousands of people together, in a festival that showcases local talent, in a festival that showcases, like how a community can pull together, how a community can be together, and rise and grow together in a way that other people can join in and see either vicariously or in person. So now what ended up happening is that this was the preemptive strike, if you like, the preemptive strike of God delivering a message to me, which eventually ended up being called the Brower Food and Wine Festival. And this was an event which was focused for the community, dressed up in a food and wine festival. And it did really well. We ended up getting 5,000 people through on one day on its launch. And it's going to be an annual event. But the point I'm trying to make is that, that third pillar of purpose is this: you feel drawn by, pulled by something else. It could be when you're watching TV and you watch a documentary and tears come to your eyes and you start being moved by something. You're like, wow. And then you realize something which I can do and something which I'm available to do. And you get up and you do it, right? So that's the third pillar of purpose. So that's the three pillars of purpose, right? So the first one, again, is having no purpose. The second one is being pushed by. And the third is being pulled by, all right? 3 pillars of purpose. Look forward to seeing you next time, guys. Bye for now.